There is something so emotional about being at the scene of a tragedy, even more so when you're viewing it through the lens of a camera, for everything is right there for you to see and experience. It is your job to seek out and bring every drop of emotion to the viewer. In April of 1995, our guest was there in the rubble of the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, a civilian part of the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Department who was there to videotape what he saw, turning it into a stunning documentary entitled Response from the Heart. It's a pleasure to welcome a man I have known for more than 20 years. He's now a part of the Newsmax family and executive producer of the film. Bill Glass joins us. Bill, thanks for being here.
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Excellent, my friend. Was this, you've seen and done so much in your time as a videographer, but when you arrived there at the Murrah building and you saw the enormity of it, had you ever experienced anything like that in your television career?
No. I mean, I had to, at one point, understand what I was doing. And what I mean by that is documenting and making sure I capture the men and women's reaction from the team on what they were doing. And I just took a glance to be able to look up. And really, that's all the chance I had to do. Because as the team was facing the building and they looked at the building for the first time, their expressions on their face, I just wheeled around and made sure I started filming it. Because it was so important, because I wanted to get their first reactions. I wanted to be able to show exactly what they were looking at, their little bit of their emotion in it. And then when we walked into the building, I followed behind the guys, and in some of the film you'll see I'm walking behind them as they're walking into the building. It was what's called the pit area. And you could see the teams working down there, and then when our team started working in the
Pit area, was that where the actual truck exploded, the area near that, creating the crater?
I think the pit area, if I remember correctly, like I said, it's 20 years ago, and then the gentleman that you had on before remember better than I do, that the pit area was really where the daycare was. And what the chiefs were saying is like, you could see them picking up the sneakers.
Did you have to stop at any time?
Yeah, I did. I stopped when they uncovered some bodies, and I promised myself that I wouldn't film it.
Did you come back to it? Did you have to? I mean,
no, I didn't film it. I didn't go back. I didn't film it on purpose, because I felt it was so important that people see what was going on there. And like you were saying, it was the first attack, in this country of homegrown. And bottom line is I wanted to make sure that, that I filmed everything I could without filming what was unnecessary to film.
When you got back and had to look, because I know from videographers' experience, a lot of times the men and women will say, when I got back and I looked at it and I looked back through it, I saw things that I didn't see the first time around. Did you have that happen? You knew everything you were shooting at that time?
I knew everything I was shooting. Because you're in a situation where when you work with these guys, and I worked for these guys for the department for 12 years, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. Because you can get hurt, and you don't want to, when you're given the privilege of being able to film whatever incident it may be in the fire service, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to be careful and know what's going on around you, behind you, in front of you, and beside you. And in that situation, you don't know. In some of the film, you'll see they have stabilization bars because the building was leaning. It was getting ready to fall. And they had these big beams across the pit area that was holding the building up.
I only got about 20 seconds left, though, and it's such a short period of time. How did this change you?
A lot. It did. Because it gets to a point where now I can't help but getting emotional about any situation that I may be involved in, especially when it comes to, filming what I film, but you're a professional, and you have to do your job, and you want to cover it the best way you can.
You certainly were. You've always been a professional, and the film Response from the Heart, it's very professional, it's very revealing, and it absolutely will leave an impact on anybody who ever sees it. And I can tell that you put your heart and soul into it, as you always do.
Thank you.
Bill, pleasure, my friend.
You do it.
It has been a pleasure to know you all these years. We're going to take a break, come back, and finish out here on MidPoint.